What's up, everybody? It is your boy Chris. Let me find her. Where is she? Say Aunt Stacy. Say Aunt Stacy.
Aunt Stacy.
And together we are Team Flip the World. And this is a video on what is the Goodwill Outlet, aka the bins, and how is it different than a regular Goodwill store. Let's get in there and get to work. Look at all these beautiful blue buckets of bullshit. This is the bins, folks. This is what everyone's talking about when they say bins or outlet store. They're going to be large bins full of piles of clothing, Christmas items, toys, hard goods, shoes, books, DVDs, you name it, it's in there, and you just dig through it all. And then they sell it to you by the pound. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Like I said, this video is about the difference between a Goodwill outlet or bins versus a regular Goodwill store. I think it's important to make a video like this, especially at the beginning of the year. There's a whole new group of resellers or people interested in reselling. They're getting on YouTube, they're getting online, and they're going to see terms like bins, outlet, per pound store. And I want to make sure that people know the difference, how they can find out if they have them in their state or area, and what to expect, because there's a huge difference between a Goodwill store, which is set up like a Walmart or a retail store, versus the Goodwill outlet or bins, which is like a free-for-all where everything is sold per pound. So let's get into it. I hope this video is helpful. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing, like, thumbs up, leave a comment. Tell me if you've been to the bins before, if you have them in your state or area, and if you like the per pound method, or if you actually enjoy going to multiple thrift stores and just paying whatever they've priced it at. But definitely let me know, and let's get to it. So the Goodwill outlets, or the bins, you're going to hear those two words. I just use Goodwill outlet, but most people on Facebook pages and YouTubes call them the bins, are a per pound dig through style shopping experience. And they do vary state by state, so I can only speak to you of how they are here in Texas. But basically what it is it used to be a retail store that they have completely stripped. It's empty, and they have rows of blue bins, and they are full of clothing, shoes, CDs, books, DVDs, hard goods, random things. Usually they're pretty good about organizing, but later in the day, stuff has been moved from pile to pile, so it does get mixed up. Now, there you physically will go in and dig and find items that you want and put them in your cart, and then when you're ready to check out, each thing is just done by weight. And the pricing varies again state by state, but here in Texas, it's $2.19 a pound up to 50 pounds. And if you go over 50 pounds, you actually get a discount, so it drops to $1.79 per pound. And the way they do that is they have these huge scales on the floor by the cash register, and the carts are weighted. So you push the cart onto the scale with all of your items inside, and the weighted cart zeroes itself out, and everything left is what you pay for. Now, what I do is I take my IKEA bags and I fill one IKEA bag with shoes, and the other IKEA bag I fill with the miscellaneous, like clothing, plush, toys, whatever we get. Because usually I don't do over 50 pounds. And then they'll weigh the shoes first, and then they'll weigh everything else separate. It's still done by weight, but they like to actually break down so they can see, well, we're selling 600 pounds of shoes a week versus 10,000 pounds of clothing. So that's how that's priced. Now, a regular Goodwill store is receiving donations the exact same way, but they actually have employees that individually price everything based off of they have their own set of pricing instructions, but they also do have somebody that looks up the estimated value on resale sites like eBay. So they don't look at solds though. That's the problem. So a retail Goodwill store, you'll walk in, shoes are going to be anywhere from $6.99 to $19.99. Some stores sell them for $39.99. Whereas at the outlet or the bins, everything that you grab is one price, $2.19 a pound for up to 50 pounds here. Rules. The rules at the bins are pretty straightforward, and the reason they have to have rules is because you are going to be digging in bins with other people. So all sales are final. They absolutely have no return policy at the Goodwill Outlet. Items are sold as is. So if you are an electronics reseller and you go to the Goodwill Outlet stores, they usually have a designated wall area that is going to have outlets. Those will be the only working outlets in the entire store. Make sure that you're testing your products there before you get in line and pay for them, because you can absolutely not bring them back. They are first come, first serve when it comes to shopping carts. Now, the store I go to has an ungodly amount of carts, more than I would consider you need there, because then people just leave carts in the aisle and it becomes a nightmare. But some locations only have 20, 30 carts, so they try to limit the amount of people, and you're only allowed one cart. So I can't show up and grab 2 carts, 1 cart per customer. So there's no taking out of other people's carts. I know that sounds like a no-brainer, but it happens. So that's why if you've seen any of my other videos, you see the first thing I do every time is cart, sheet or a blanket, go to my spot, and I cover my cart. That signifies to everybody in the store, this cart belongs to someone. It is covered. Don't touch. No touch. Next rule is you must stand back when a new row comes out. So what they do is when it's time to replace a row, they will have the employees come and remove all 12 bin rows. They'll take them to the back, and then they will bring out 12 new fresh bins. While they're bringing them out, they usually have designated tape on the ground, at least here at our stores. You must stand behind that line. Once they put the bins in place and lock them, they will clear the employees out of the way, and then the manager, usually who is going to be in the blue shirt, will say go. Now, our location has officers because sometimes people don't know how to follow this rule. I would say out of all of the rules, this one and no shoving are the ones that get broke the most, because people, I don't know if it's anxiety or they feel like someone's going to take their stuff, or in their mind they see something in the bin and they put it in their head that that is theirs. They get defensive. Now, we've never had fights at the ones we go to, but people do get a little pushy shovey, but usually there's an officer or a manager there to correct, and they will kick people out, no question. Other than that, that's pretty much it. It's pick up stuff you want, buy per pound. They only have one area to test it, no returns, no refunds. You can get a lot of great products there. Now, how to find out if you have the Goodwill Outlet stores in your area, I'm going to go ahead and put a website right here, but it's called GWOutletStoreLocator.com. I think out of the entire United States, there are 15 states that do not have outlet stores currently. All the other states do, and they have multiple locations. So check that website. I know Houston had 0 last year, and now we have 4, and they're expecting 2 more to be open by June. So we're going from 4 to 6. Now, we are a huge market. We have a ton of Goodwill stores. So what they're doing is they're converting some of them to outlets to help facilitate the amount of donations that we get into this state. But each state does have some, and if you live in a state like, I think Rhode Island doesn't have any outlets. Rhode Island is next to a bunch of other states that are within driving distance that do have outlets. So that's a possibility. So just because your state doesn't have any doesn't mean that you can't get to them. Now, I want to talk about the pros and the cons and then give you my opinion. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, you might not know where I stand on this. So pros to Goodwill Outlets or shopping at the bins is you can actually get a large quantity of inventory in one spot for cheaper than you can by going to regular Goodwill or thrift stores. I say Goodwill because I'm comparing Goodwill Outlet to Goodwill thrift stores, but generally any thrift store that prices their items individually, you're going to get more inventory for less cost at a outlet or bin store. You're going to spend less time driving because you're only going to one location. So less time driving to source, which means you're going to have more time to prep and list the items that you receive. You're constantly going to get new inventory at the bins because they change out those bins. Like I said, every 15 minutes, they're completely changing out an entire row, and they do that all day until they close. Some of the cons, though, I'm going to have to say that you got to dig through a lot of crap, and there's just no way around it. There's going to be broken items. There's going to be lots of torn clothing. There's going to be damaged shoes. There's going to be just stuff that should probably go in the trash. But for the most part, there's a lot of digging through crap, but you can find great things. The only two other cons that I wrote down are the same thing, and that's people. You're going to be dealing with people that are aggressive, pushy. Usually, like I said, there's an officer or the manager to control it, to keep it to a minimum. But there are going to be people that bring their kids, they're screaming kids. There's going to be kids running around playing with toys that they see in the bins. Again, these are all against the rules, but unless somebody's managing it, you're going to have to deal with it. There's going to be screaming, there's going to be people yelling. I don't want it to sound like it's a horrible thing, but it's just something, I pay no attention to it. I literally ignore everyone. If someone bumps me, I just kind of, let them know, hey, don't do that. But for the most part, it's very safe, and I've had no issues. My wife goes, she's had no issues. She usually has our daughter strapped to her, and she's never had anything to where I had to, pick up a golf club and knock somebody's head off. So it's safe. It's just something you want to be aware of. There is the potential for people to get high anxiety because it is a free-for-all when it comes to finding things in the bins. Other than that, my overall thoughts are, since I started going strictly to an outlet store versus doing my 15 thrift store route, I'm getting more product. I'm spending less time outsourcing, and I'm spending far less money. If you watch my 10K in 90-day video, which I'll put a link in the description, I think out of October, November, December, I spent less than $1,300 sourcing. When I used to go to 15 stores a day, I'd spend $50 at the first store, $80 at the next store, $100, because I was paying $7.99, $9.99, $12.99 per pair of shoes. So I was spending more money, and I was making less, and I was spending more time, more gas out sourcing. So to me, the bins have been a game changer. Again, I specifically am a Goodwill Outlet or bins reseller. It's the only thing I go to. I don't even mess with thrift stores anymore. I'll maybe hit a garage sale, but more than likely, if I'm not at the bins, I'm checking out dumpsters. That's my thing. That's how I win. I am trying to dominate this niche in reselling because I think that it is the best way to survive 2021 as a reseller, especially as a beginner. Start now, get your feet wet into the outlet stores, and the sky's the limit for you. So if you have one near you, check that website again. It's gwoutletstorelocator.com. Even if you got to drive 2 hours to get there, you're looking at 4 hours round trip. Maybe that's something you do once a month. Just go there, spend a day, get a bunch of inventory, and go back home. It'll be worth it in the long run. I am very pro Goodwill Outlet. I hope you guys have fun at your first trip if you've never been. If you've been before and any of the stuff I said sounds exactly how yours are, again, let me know in the comments. I'm in it to win it at the bins. I hope to see you guys there. If you're in Houston, come say hi. We had a subscriber come talk to us this morning. Maria, I think that was your name. I'm really bad with names, but if it was, we appreciate the support. And that's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you made it all the way to the end. Again, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, bell notification. I never even know where I'm pointing. I always just throw it in there somewhere. I just like to use my hands a lot. Let's get a quick flex for the camera. And we'll see you on the next one. Deuce.